Signed into law, Governor Stein approves the bill to continue funding Medicaid in our state. What this means for the millions of people across our state who rely on this program.
Showers are in our area and more is on tap for the weekend. How much rain we could see through the next 7 days.
Violent political threats. A man accused of threatening President Trump caused the evacuation of an Apex business. The charges he faces ahead of his first court appearance today. Parts of the viewing area are seeing showers right now, but we need much more. The drought monitor came out, and more of our counties moved to extreme drought. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Levingood. Thank you so much for joining us. We have meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking this situation right now, and the Severe Weather Center with a look at where the drought worsened. Elizabeth.
Well, let's take a look at the drought monitor, and I'll show you. This, of course, is a look at Southern Pines, but in our other system, we have the drought monitor up, and I'd love to show you that if we could switch over to Weather 3. If not, we'll just come back to weather in a bit. There it is. Okay, so here's the drought monitor. Notice what happened. We have almost all of our northern counties. They're in red. Last week, a lot of those counties switched over from severe drought to extreme drought. But what's new is down here near Fayetteville, the northwestern portion of Cumberland County, parts of Harnett County and Hoke County, even the lower part of Moore County there is now under extreme drought. So we've added multiple counties. It looks like at least half of our viewing area now is under extreme drought. So it's tough to sort of watch this. Sometimes it's a slow transition to some of the higher levels, but every week for the last 3 weeks, we've seen a fairly large jump of our counties moving into extreme drought. Here's a look at radar, and we are seeing a few showers there in Johnston County and Harnett County, over toward Fayetteville and Goldsboro. Just a little bit of light patchy rain. This is not going to add up much in the rain gauges, but at least it's good to see some of that falling again. Fayetteville, Clinton, Goldsboro seeing some showers. Here's a look at Futurecast, and you can see that sliding off to the east. So this is not going to last long. By 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we're done with it. And then after that, we'll see some sunshine in the afternoon, and that will allow our temperatures to climb on up into the mid 70s. It is gray out there right now, and taking a look at Clinton, you can definitely see the wet conditions where the rain is falling. 63 is our temperature in the triangle right now. And again, we'll likely see a high this afternoon of about 75. Next best chance of rain comes late Friday and could last for most of the day Saturday. Now, that sounds like a good soaking rain. I'll show you how much we could see coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. Breaking right now at noon, within the last 30 minutes, Governor Josh Stein signed a bill to fully fund the state's Medicaid program through the end of the fiscal year. The $319 million plan plugs a funding gap to ensure health care for millions of North Carolinians. WRAL state government reporter Caroline Yaffa joins us now live from the Executive Mansion. Caroline, this has been months in the making.
Renee, it really has. And as you mentioned, just minutes ago, Governor Josh Stein put pen to paper behind me inside the governor's mansion, approving a $319 million plan to fully fund Medicaid in North Carolina. So his signature ensures health care for the 1/4 of North Carolinians who rely on the program. Health officials said the program was set to run out of money by May. The bill passed the legislature with near unanimous support, even though some Democrats took issue with these provisions. That could kick some people off the plan. It also has provisions, that would give money to the state auditor to investigate alleged Medicaid fraud. Stein opposed some of those measures.
Depriving these vulnerable women and children health care coverage is wrong. Fortunately, based on conversations we've had, I believe that it is the General Assembly's intention to fix this.
This Medicaid rebase isn't happening in a vacuum, and we have a dual responsibility to the General Assembly, one to the patients, two to the taxpayers.
Republican lawmakers are saying that this level of Medicaid funding is not sustainable for North Carolina, and they're trying to come up with some long-term solutions to make sure the people who are on Medicaid are using the funds properly. Caroline Yaffa, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
We have new information this afternoon in the investigation of a man who allegedly threatened the president. Sky 5 was above that scene yesterday in Apex as investigators we're talking about from local, state, and federal agencies were on scene. We have learned the suspect, 41-year-old Daniel Swain, was on his way from Charleston, South Carolina to Washington, D.C. Let's go ahead and bring in WRAL's Sean Gallagher. He's at the car wash where this person was arrested. And Sean, what else have you learned so far this afternoon?
Well, Chris, most notably, Swain has not been charged yet for threatening the president. He was picked up here at this car wash here in Apex yesterday, only facing charges for having meth on him and resisting arrest. But those more serious charges could be coming soon from a federal level. Sky 5 cameras caught images of writing on the windows of the vehicle yesterday. Most was illegible, but we could make out 3 lines that said, "Tell Donald he is fired, 5 dead, 5 years, and 3 Navy, teacher and trucker." Investigators haven't indicated what Swain may have meant by these messages, but said today the written messages were threatening. As a precaution, investigators did call in a bomb squad to search the vehicle, but nothing was found. And Swain facing charges for possessing methamphetamine and resisting arrest. But here's why we may not see the charges for threatening the president just yet.
You can believe that you make threats against the president, there's going to be action taken. I would be surprised if the Apex police haven't already been in contact with the Secret Service and the FBI about this matter, because they're really the only ones who can charge in that situation with the federal charges. I guess the U.S. attorney could do that, but it has to be investigated first.
So this is at least the 4th known threat against the president this year. That includes a charge just yesterday that came down against former FBI Director James Comey, indicted yesterday for posting an image last year that said 8647 on social media. Now, Swain is due in a Wake County.
People are mourning the loss of Miss North Carolina 2024, Carrie Everett. This weekend, memorial services will be held in Greensboro to celebrate her life and legacy. She died on Easter Sunday after her battle with an aggressive form of stomach cancer. She was 22 years old. And Everett was the 4th black woman to hold her title as Miss North Carolina after she won in 2024. This morning, Laura Levine spoke with Michaela Young, who is a close friend of Carrie and Miss Orange County.
But Carrie really fought to the very end. She really thought she was going to beat this. We all did. And she really was going to write a book about her pageant journey, coming all the way from Washington by herself to North Carolina, and then going from being Miss North Carolina to now this unexpected cancer journey, but remaining faithful through it all. And that's just Carrie, faithful.
That's just Carrie. Michaela described Carrie as a lamp of God's light. And Carrie Everett's celebration of life is this Saturday. It'll be at 3:30 p.m. at World Victory Church in Greensboro.
Live center right now. Of course, we are following the latest on the White House a correspondents' dinner with that suspect making his first court appearance today. The gunman accused of opening fire at that dinner this past weekend will now remain in custody. Of course, we're talking about Cole Tomas Allen here. He had pushed for his release, but at a hearing today, they said that he was conceding detention at this time. So now we have those new images that came on your screen here that was released by the Justice Department of the suspect in the white. Prosecutors say that he photographed himself with weapons minutes before the attack. NBC News has also learned, according to 3 law enforcement officials, that investigators have now resolved a key question regarding a review of evidence now linking the suspect's shotgun to the round that hit an officer's protective vest, ruling out friendly fire. So, of course, we'll follow the latest from that hearing and the new details that developed today.
Laura, thank you. A man charged with operating a meth lab on the campus of Michigan State University is jailed on a $500,000 bond. Police found chemicals on 31-year-old Shin Tong that can be legally purchased, including methanol, acetone, and butane. Those are ingredients commonly used to make meth. Michigan State Police shut down Wells Hall after finding unknown liquid substances. The building will remain closed until tomorrow while the building is evaluated for safety. More than 450 final exams were planned to take place in Wells Hall. They have now been rescheduled in different locations. South Carolina State University is moving in a new direction for this year's commencement speaker. The state's lieutenant governor was invited to deliver this year's speech. However, after 2 days of peaceful demonstrations, the university's president announced that Pamela Yvette will no longer be the keynote speaker. Students rejected her stance to get rid of DEI initiatives on college campuses, saying it does not align with the HBCU. The school has not announced the replacement commencement speaker.
Hawaii health leaders are warning people about an emerging drug trend that could be deadly. The Honolulu Medical Examiner's Office announced the state's first death from a product labeled 7-0. They say a young woman died in March from using the synthetic drug related to kratom. Experts say that it's stronger than morphine and can be addictive. People can purchase 7-0 products in stores across Hawaii and online, and the potent product is sold in the form of drinks and gummies.
They were taking what they thought were herbal supplements or supplements to help with pain or energy that turned into a very quick addiction.
Some stores have begun banning this product, and so far an official statewide ban has not been issued.
Let's give you a live look now at RDU International Airport, where some passengers will be able to bypass long lines at a discount price. The TSA is offering a $20 discount on new pre-check memberships for those age 30 and under. The offer is good tomorrow through May 31st on 5-year memberships. It's available through the TSA pre-checks authorized enrollment providers, Clear, Ademia, and Telos. PreCheck also allows customers to keep electronics and liquids in their bags at security and leave on belts and jackets. PreCheck lines at airports are typically shorter as well. I just renewed my membership for that. All right, Elizabeth, at this hour, we're looking at the drought monitor, and as expected, it's expanded and getting worse.
It has. It's gotten worse. Again, last week we had a lot of our northern counties go under it. The week before we had sort of a smattering up near the Virginia line, and then we added Durham and Lewisburg and parts of Raleigh, and now we've added Siler City, as well as Southern Pines, all of Hoke County and part of Cumberland County. As a matter of fact, in all of the counties that we cover here, there are only 3 that are not covered, at least in part, by that extreme drought. So Sanford, Clinton, and Goldsboro are the only ones that don't have at least a portion of the county in extreme drought. And so it just keeps worsening, hoping that it doesn't go, in the next week, continuing to do this. But we just haven't seen a whole lot of rain. We've had a lot of opportunities for rain, like we have an opportunity for rain right now, but it just is very patchy. Like, we're really not seeing any from the Triangle area northward. And on Saturday, our pattern is going to be somewhat similar. We'll have the potential for most of the measurable rain to be in the south. However, we should have at least some rain all the way up to the Virginia line. We're seeing the rain move out of Fayetteville right now. A pretty good amount of rain here in Sampson County, here in Clinton, as well as up in Wayne County, Goldsboro. You're seeing some showers right now. Here's Futurecast, and you can watch it all gradually sliding off. By the time we get to 2 or 3, we should be finished with the rain. And there should be some holes in the clouds breaking out. Yesterday we started clouding. We started to see the sunshine peeking out at some point. Notice here, the blue streaks are where we have rain that's a ½ an inch or greater. And from yesterday's rainfall, we just didn't see that much. We had that one band of storms that came through south and east of Oxford. That was a spot that we really had the bulk of the rain, and it was just in a couple of tiny areas at about 1 inch and almost 1.5 inches. About a ½ an inch in Stem and Franklinton, a little over 1 inch there in Lewisburg, and then we just continue to have these streaks. Wilson was almost a ½ an inch around Jordan Lake, almost ½ an inch, and west of Smithfield about ½ an inch. But there were just these pockets where we had really any beneficial rain at all. Tomorrow, we end up with a small chance for some showers in our southern counties late in the day, and then we transition to a very good chance of rain on Saturday. We're still not looking at anything that's over 1 inch, and so we've had in some places 1 inch or so, and then we may see anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 1 inch as we get through the weekend. We need 11 to 14 inches of rain over a month's time in order to see the drought erased, and that's just highly unlikely. So the burn ban continues. Now, it's been a little drier, a little bit wetter and a little bit cooler, so you may think, oh, it's probably okay to burn, but not yet. We still haven't had enough rain for that burn ban to be eliminated. Here's a live look at Fayetteville. The streets are damp, but you can see there wasn't a whole lot of rain that fell there. 63 is our temperature around the Triangle. It's 62 in Fuquay-Varina, 61 in Knightdale, 62 in Durham. So we're holding in the low 60s. With a few breaks in the clouds this afternoon, we should make it into the mid 70s. On Saturday, it's going to be chilly with that rain. Most of the day is going to feel like the 50s, but we do break out of the clouds for the second half of the weekend. We'll talk more about specifically how much rain we could see now through the weekend coming up.
No, so maybe stay home Saturday, but come out hiding on Sunday. Okay. Thanks, Elizabeth. Well, coming up on our news this afternoon, it has been almost 6 months since a Wake Med officer died after a shooting. However, lawyers still haven't seen surveillance video. So tonight at 4, the new motion from prosecutors and the defense for new evidence to get released.
Schools across the state are closed tomorrow ahead of a planned protest. Today at 5, we talk with parents about how they plan to adjust to the sudden need for childcare. Pet boarding facility safety. Next on this newscast, a dog died after jumping into a clothes dryer. WRAL Investigates shares the warning from the state and the steps you should take before entrusting someone with your pet.
Plus, wedding industry shakeup. Some women are putting off dress shopping before the big day. How the rise of GLP-1 drugs is increasing stress for some boutique owners. Just a reminder, if you ever see some breaking news, maybe you have a story tip or video or pictures of weather where you are, go ahead and send that to us at WRAL.com/report it. A dog dead after jumping into a clothes dryer at a boarding facility. And this is leading state leaders to put out a warning in hopes to educate pet owners about reviewing facilities before using them. This is the focus of a WRAL investigation coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. Here's Sarah Kruger.
The tragic incident happened at a boarding facility in Forsyth County. The state says it's a reminder about the importance of vetting a place before dropping off your pet.
What do you want people to know as many people are, traveling and looking at boarding facilities for their pets?
I would love for people to start early. Look into your options. Talk to your friends who have actually boarded their animal in a facility. And then do a little investigation into that facility to make sure you are comfortable leaving your animal there.
That's Dr. Patricia Norris, the state's animal welfare director. Something pet owners may not know about is a free tool on the state's website that can be very helpful in your search.
Did you know that the state of North Carolina has a website where you can look up inspection reports for facilities?
I did not, no.
Is that something you might add to your list?
Absolutely. Yes, that makes it a lot easier.
Tonight at 6, we will walk you through how to use that tool step by step and the red flags that Dr. Norris says as a pet owner would cause her to walk into a facility and turn right back around. Sarah Kruger, WRAL News.
You can catch Sarah's story tonight and then also head to our WRAL YouTube channel. That's where Sarah has a detailed walkthrough of exactly how to use that state database.
Some bridal shops say GLP-1 and other weight loss drugs are putting a strain on business. One bridal boutique owner recommends purchasing your wedding gown about a year in advance. But more and more brides are dropping significant weight right before their wedding day, causing some to delay shopping until closer to the wedding. The owner says while most dresses can be tailored for slight fluctuations, it's difficult to alter gowns in more extreme cases.
You're going from maybe losing 10 or 15 pounds a few years ago, which was alterable within a dress size. Most dresses can be altered up to 2 sizes. Now you're looking at maybe 50 or 60 pounds. We can help you and we can guide you, but you have to be honest with us. And at the end of the day, you're signing a contract that the dress you buy and the dress we order is the dress you're going to get.
Some shops could require contracts that don't allow size flexibility.
Your time right now is 12:26. Revitalizing Cary's oldest mall. Who could foot the bill to give that area a glow up?
Midterms at risk. Why cyber experts are issuing a warning about foreign adversaries. And here's a look at your winning North Carolina Education Lottery numbers.
Today, Carytown leaders are considering the next steps and plans to revitalize Cary's oldest mall, South Hills. WRAL's Kirsten Clark tells us how this.
10 people are recovering after an explosion and fire at a home in Queens, New York. Police were first responding to a call about a dispute that involved a man armed with a knife. Police say officers were trying to get into the home where the call originated. Then there was an explosion, causing that home to collapse. The fire then spread to another home. Nearly 300 firefighters responded to the scene. Investigators say it appears a 50-year-old man poured gasoline on the home and started the fire. That man has not been located. In Houston, investigators say a worker died after an asphalt tank ruptured, burying the man under 3 feet of asphalt. The victim's body was later recovered. The cause is under investigation. The company is cooperating with authorities. Hazmat crews tested the air and determined there is no danger to the community.
The Vermont Principals Association agreed to pay more than $500,000 to settle a dispute over transgender athletes in school sports. You see, 3 years ago, a Christian school forfeited a playoff game because the opposing team had a transgender athlete. The Principals Association then banned all the school's teams from competitions. Well, the school claimed this violated the state's anti-discrimination policy. In addition to the payment, the association promises there would be no similar bans in the future. A Florida man known for dressing up as Santa Claus faces charges related to a child sexting. A law enforcement official created an ad on a prostitution website claiming to offer their fictional 15-year-old daughter for paid sexual acts. Well, deputies say 68-year-old Thomas Hicks, who you see here, responded to the ad. He reportedly had 2 text conversations with undercover officers and then went to meet with that fictional teenager. That's when police officers arrested him. Hicks was among 19 suspects arrested in that sting.
You're looking live now at the DBAP. It is kind of dreary out there, but the sun looks like it's breaking through. The drought, though, is getting worse in some areas. Elizabeth Gardner returns with a look at our weekend forecast. A free, family-centered event returns to Durham this Saturday. It is the 21st annual Strawberry Festival, benefiting the Central Park School for Children. Joining us now to talk about the event is the Executive Director, Arlie Harris. Arlie, it looks nice and sunny where you are right now, and you've probably heard the forecast that Saturday it's going to rain. Talk about why the festival is still something that people can hopefully check out.
Well, as you know, North Carolina weather can be wild. We've had good fortune all of these years. If it does rain, it typically rains in the afternoon. We are a rain or shine event. We don't do thunder and lightning, but you can come on out to this free event and have a good time, even with a little shower. There's plenty of activities and snacks. And the good news is it's not going to be too hot.
Sounds like a plan. That's right. At least temperatures will definitely be on the cooler side. So this festival raises money for the school. Talk to us a little bit about the school for those who aren't familiar with it, and how do those funds support your students?
Yes. So this is the 21st year of this festival, but this is the first time that we're hosting the festival right between our 2 buildings. I'm standing here at the lower school, which is for grades kindergarten through 3rd, and across the park is the upper school for grades 4 through 8. We renovated that original Old North Durham graded school from 1929 last summer and moved in. So funds that we raise are going to go toward restoring that gym floor and also putting in a floor in our K-8 library, as well as project-based learning supplies for all of our teachers.
Big plans for the proceeds there. And Arlie, for those who've never been to the Strawberry Festival, what can they expect to when they head out there this weekend? I assume there will be lots of strawberry treats.
So many strawberry treats. It is a free festival. It's child-centered, child-friendly. Our name is Central Park School for Children because what we do is for kids, by kids, with the help of adults. So there are all kinds of booths, activities, and snacks. The snacks include chocolate dipped strawberries, strawberry shortcake, strawberry lemonade, tamales, elotes. And then for activities, we have strawberry nails and games, basket berry, button making, bubbles, face painting, all the fun things. Even if it's sprinkling, we're still going to do it. And then we have performers. We have several local bands, Batala, the drummers, some aerial silks, Bouncing Bulldogs, and then also our own Central Park School for Children Orchestra is going to perform.
And Arlie, talk about why it's so important to have events like this, bringing the community into the school space, learning about the school and benefiting the school.
Well, as you know, it really takes a village to raise children. So all of our families and our staff and our local community work together to support our downtown school. Our kids walk all over downtown doing their hands-on project work. And so we're really a part of the fabric of downtown. The festival draws a large crowd, so it's also great for us to get our name out there, and it's great for local businesses.
Okay, we'll hope for some dry periods or some sprinkles that you can still have the Strawberry Festival this Saturday from 11 to 3 at Old North Durham Park. Admission is free, and there's live music, entertainment, arts and crafts, all that fun stuff. Arlie, thank you so much for talking with us, and just be sure to stay plugged to their social channels just to make sure that they're still having the festival given the weather forecast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And, you know, obviously, Elizabeth, we want them to be able to have that festival, but at the same time, it's like, we need rain right now, especially when you look at this drought monitor right now.
Yeah, so the drought monitor comes out around 9 a.m. on Thursday, and a couple of big things. You and I pointed this out to you here, just east of Charlotte. It's kind of a small circle right there, but that's exceptional drought, and that's the highest level. So this is the first time that we've seen exceptional drought, at least sort of, you know, in this round. We really started to see the drought worsening about a month ago. We began to see a few areas here in red popping up in some of our northern and northeastern counties, and that's extreme drought. Of course, the orange area is severe drought. And at this point, there are only 3 counties that are in severe drought, with no portion of the county in extreme drought. And we added these counties down in the Sandhills. So parts of Harnett County, Cumberland County, Hoke, and Moore County are now in that extreme drought. And so more of us in the extreme drought than not at this point. This is the change from last week. This is for the state as a whole and not just our viewing area. Last week, 38% of the state was in extreme drought, and this week, 54% of the state is in extreme drought. So not good out there at all. It is gray, and we've had a few showers. As a matter of fact, you can see here in Goldsboro, a little bit of light rain, not enough to really measure in the rain gauges. You know, every little bit where it's just a little bit cooler and a little bit more damp keeps the drought from getting a whole lot worse. It's when it's really hot and dry, of course, that it gets worse. 63 degrees is our current temperature around the triangle. We did have a wave of rain come through, especially from Raleigh southward, and that's moving on out. We're going to see more sunshine as we head through the afternoon. A couple of showers trying to fire up again right there over parts of Cumberland County, Goldsboro, there, Wayne County. You're still seeing a little bit of that, but it's likely to move on out in the next couple of hours, and we'll see a mix of sun and clouds for the remainder of the day. So we look ahead to our next weather maker, which is Saturday. It's a coastal low. We'll see widespread showers, maybe a few thunderstorms. And it's going to be cool. Our high temperatures will only be in the low 60s. It may begin as early as late Friday. That's 4 o'clock Friday. Goldsboro, Clinton, Fayetteville, our southern counties could see a wave of rain late Friday. And then the bulk of it starts to move into the area Saturday. There's 6:30 in the morning. By 9 o'clock, you can expect widespread rain, and it may become heavy at times into the afternoon. There's 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, starting to taper off between 4 and 5. It doesn't really end until pretty early in the morning on Sunday in the wee hours. So a coastal low, it depends on where the low tracks as to who gets the rain and how much there may be. As long as it tracks right here close to the coast, it will spread this rain northward, and you can see how it spreads it northward. Now, if for some reason it ends up a little farther offshore, I mean, even say 50 miles offshore, it means that our north and western counties wouldn't get as much rain. Right now, we're only looking at our northwestern counties at 1/4 of an inch, while some of our south and eastern counties could see an inch. I'm hoping it may end up being a little bit more than that. Of course, the amount of rain that we need to end the drought in a month's period is anywhere from 10 to about 14 inches right now. Note Saturday, yes, it will be rainy and chilly too, a little warmer on Sunday, and that's the day that we'll see more sun.
All right, thank you for that forecast, Elizabeth. So if a picture is worth 1,000 words, well, how many chuckles are these images worth? The photo contest that's making people around the world smile.
It's working. And here's a look at your winning Powerball numbers. We have 3, 19, 35, 51, and 67. The Powerball is 15, and the multiplier is 2.
Well, as we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines that were falling today for WRAL News. Not long ago, Governor Josh Stein signed a bill to fully fund the state's Medicaid program, at least at the end of the fiscal year. The $319 million plan ensures health care for millions of North Carolinians. The program was set to run out of money in the next few weeks, and the bill passed the legislature with near unanimous support. You can read up more on all things Medicaid and other topics in the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
The man accused of threatening the president was allegedly on his way from Charleston, South Carolina to Washington, D.C. when this scene played out at an Apex car wash. Sky 5 captured writing on the windows of a vehicle that reads in part, "Tell Donald he is fired." Right now, 41-year-old Daniel Swain only faces charges for resisting officers and having meth on him. But the more serious charges could be coming from a federal level. Swain is being held on a federal detainer. He's expected in court this afternoon.
Major economic development news in the Triangle today as Switzerland-based company Novartis Pharmaceuticals plans to expand its business footprint. It's going to build a new 56,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Morrisville. The company says it will focus on manufacturing tablets, capsules, and RNA therapeutics such as mRNA vaccines. This is the company's 5th facility in our state.
Overcharge for prescriptions. Some North Carolinians impacted will see refunds in a new settlement. Today on WRAL News at 4, how this happened in the first place and who would be eligible.
Well, if you didn't know, today is National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. And if you're considering becoming a pet parent or adding another pet to your family, there are some important things you should know. For example, it's important to give any pet from the shelter time to acclimate to their new home. Some may have past trauma and need some extra time to feel safe in this new home. Those pets may enjoy having their own safe space, like a crate to eat and sleep in for a time. There are also some perks to choosing a shelter pet.
From my perspective as a veterinarian, I love, that we are adopting pets that comes from shelter because they do come with proper medical records. So you know that their vaccination is completed, you know that they've been neutered or they have been spayed.
Now, if you already have animals at home, vets advise socializing them with the new pet through the closed doors at first, and that way they can get familiar with their smells and sounds before they meet.
Our pet of the day comes to us from the SPCA of Wake County. Meet Simon. This 3-year-old neuter male showed up on a Good Samaritan's porch a few months ago, covered in wounds. And that's why he has a cast in this picture, but he has since healed. Simon has been great with all people, kids, other animals, and behaves like an angel at the vet. Now through tomorrow, adoption fees are half off. So contact the SPCA of Wake County if you're interested in meeting Simon.
All right, so we're talking about pure comedy gold. An image of a seabird having a rough day is the People's Choice winner in the Nikon Comedy Wildlife Awards. The photographer titled it, "Which Direction Is My Nest?" And she captured the shot during a windy day in Yorkshire, in England. Other worthy mentions include peekaboo, showing an elephant seemingly hiding its eyes, and this image of 2 frogs titled Baptism of the Unwilling Convert. The awards have been around since 2015, and every year we love looking at them because it reminds us that nature is so funny.
And kudos to the photographers. I bet they waited hours, days for that perfect shot. And they certainly caught it.
It was funny, but there's another one of like one penguin's head inside of another penguin trying to like eat. I don't know. It's very cute. It's all fun.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL. Your next local news update in 30 minutes.
And don't forget, you can always get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. We hope you have a blessed day today.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.